Jasmy, Woven City, and Soracom update. This is a major update, but we're going to start first with Soracom. Let's jump over to that. Consider smashing that like. So first thing is literally from his X page. He just posts the eyeballs, basically. And it's interesting. Very, very interesting. Because when you open this up, this person, Don, who is a Jasmy enthusiast, points out that Jasmy holders need to think more deeply at this point. And that is, what exactly is a Jasmy coin? If they do, they'll realize that statements like, it's strange that Jasmy's management only promotes Janction and not Jasmy coin directly, are completely off the mark. I would 100% agree. The demand for Jasmy coin doesn't come from companies or general consumers directly purchasing Jasmy coin. Instead, it rises when they use services with fiat currency or JPYD. The use of these services is tied to the forced purchase and consumption of Jasmy coin. But this happens in the background, so services or service users are unaware of it. In other words, when considering only the use of services, neither companies nor general consumers fundamentally need to know about the existence of Jasmy coin. In this way, Jasmy coin is connected to real-world services and exists to tokenize, recover created demand value to return it to investors. All right, there's a lot more in regard to this, but again, I want you guys to understand the emphasis on this. The demand for Jasmy coin doesn't come from companies or general consumers directly purchasing the coin. Okay, so if it's not directly from the companies, where are we going with this? Well, interject some key insights. Number one, it's this right here. January 7th, 2025. Shout out to Daniel, aka Mr. Jesus Oil. Doing it big once again. Give him a follow over on the X platform, and I'll highlight his page towards the end of this outline once again. Dakin demonstrates pollen-less personalized functional spaces, challenging new creation with air at Toyota Woven City. And what's interesting is this. Toyota Woven City, just in case if you're not aware of it, is a living laboratory where people actually live and work. Its environment can be considered as a test course, think about that, for mobility. So if old Maximus Crypto is going to talk about, obviously, things like the Regulated Liability Network and the Regulated Settlement Network and all these test pilots, Project Roslyn, and again, the numerous other deep dives we do outside of Jasmy, well, it's again, these test environments. And last I checked, Woven City might be the most important test environment for what? IoT. That doesn't catch your attention, nothing will. But that's okay. We're going to get more into this, especially for people that want to know about the indirect ties and leveraging the data. As we see here, this whole thing of test course for mobility to generate inventions and accelerate development, and is a place where demonstrations are conducted to confirm how the introduced equipment and spaces are used in everyday life. By leveraging the range of data and the feedback from residents that will be continually obtained through the demonstration at Woven City, Toyota Woven City, Dakin plans to create even greater value with AIR by challenging itself to realize pollenless and personalized functional spaces that it has been working on until now. Okay, there's a lot more to it than just this. But when you get more into it, which clearly Daniel, aka Jesus Oil, has done, what do we have here? It leads us to the key findings that have been already established. And when you realize that, you come to the conclusion that you need to find out who has researched this. There's numerous people. But shout out again to NeoXTricks. Love NeoXTricks. Doesn't really share a lot of other people's content on his X for whatever reason, but that's okay. But I love what he has here. He points out that Jasmy with Toyota's Woven City has opened its doors to the media. But big data will be at the heart of its infrastructure, and the following technologies will be developed. Number one, autonomous mobility, AI, robotics, smart urban infrastructure, smart home, clean energy. And even when I play this, even though I have muted because it's all in Japanese, I want you guys to understand some things. So I will be your verbatim B-roll on this. As we see here, part of the Woven City, which is under construction by Toyota Motor Corporation, has been opened to the media. We also see here, this is Toyota's Woven City. And from here, you can see buildings that are planned for people to move into. A little bit more about this. We see in the examples that Woven City is a demonstration city being built by Toyota in that particular town. Engineers and others will become residents and demonstrate the whole thing with obviously latest technologies such as autonomous driving and social infrastructure. And that will be conducted. A little bit more about this, you see in the visualizations some other key insights. And basically speaking, at today's completion, at least at that time, ceremony, Toyota Chairman Akio Toyoda attended, and roads and traffic signals for conducting demonstration experiments were unveiled. That's interesting. And of course, a lot of you guys have seen some of these visuals, maybe with a thumbnail. Other people share this in, of course, their videos, their Jasmy videos and so on. But starting this autumn, at least at that time, approximately 360 stakeholders are scheduled to move in gradually. Well, there's a lot of new updates, right? Especially in this year, 2025. Let's take you a little bit more into the recent time period of why this matters to you, especially if you're a Jasmy holder. Number one, September 25th, 2025, we do see here Toyota Woven City officially did launch a test course for the future of mobility. I mentioned that before, but basically in the titled headlines, 20 inventors basically began what is referred to as Kakazan. Okay, it's a multiplication co-creation. Probably not pronouncing that right. Singer-songwriter Naoto Inti Rami joins Woven City as an inventor, and it's the first group of residents known as Weavers officially basically moved in. Now, this terminology I do think is interesting. Even with IBM, there's Weaver, just throwing that out there. I did cover that the other day. But basically, when you get into it, they highlight this whole thing of the unveiling of what happened at CES 2020. I covered this, I think, not that long ago with some deep dives earlier this year. But to mark the occasion, Toyota WBYT hosted a launch in the event of Sosona City and some of these other ones for Shizuoka Prefecture in Japan with key stakeholders. Residents being able to move in and partner companies with starting co-creation. Woven City takes its first steps as a real-world test course for mobility and key driver for Toyota, especially when it comes to that mobility. All right, so that's great. It seems as though that they're really getting this going, right? Upping their game, if you will. I would put it, utility in motion, right? The convergence of all this and the capabilities. Woven City also launched an Accelerate program with an open call for inventors that began on September 8th, beginning with Woven City Challenge, Hack the Mobility Competition. I mean, how many projects have you seen where they have these hackathons? So this is important to reference that as well. Moving along, I'm going to take you to this other key area. Again, this test course, okay? Because when I do that, it brings us over to Daikin.com. Why point them out? Again, the world's #1 air conditioning company. Here in Phoenix, Arizona, if you don't have air conditioning, you are just absolutely sunk. And especially if people live in Florida and other areas, right? All right, so why point out some of this stuff? Well, perfecting the air. There are multiple reasons why Daikin is a global #1. Through perfecting the air, Daikin strives to make the world's spaces happier, more comfortable. Right. All right. Watch this. Take you further into this. Does this not add up? Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, at Lil Bidman. Give him a follow on X. He points out a while ago that basically speaking, the demonstration experiment of air-conditioned equipment control using IoT and generative AI conducted by Mitsubishi Electric, which we have worked on with the Matsuo Laboratory Co., have been announced. Now, of course, that was July 17, 2024. Now, Lil Bidman did ask ChatGPT, Dataku, and Sorcom to optimize his air conditioning settings. That's interesting. And if anything, basically speaking, citing this guy, I'll show you the translation, as it basically shows the whole thing of Sorcom, and in the interpretation, which I believe is from Japanese, Japanese to English, this gentleman who's Yuda Aime points out, continuing from yesterday, this is a promotion for the company's work, the results of demonstrating experiment on air conditioning equipment control using IoT and generative AI, which have been assisting with him, I should say, since last year. In reality, it's a little bit longer than that. Alongside everyone at Matsuo Research Institute and Mitsubishi have been announced. They optimized the ideal air conditioning setting, and of course, using some of this through Soracom. Now, we'll get into Soracom a little bit more here in a bit, but again, I wanted to kind of cite some things that was interesting. Speaking of interesting, we're going to go over to autonomousvehicleinternational.com. Big up to Daniel Jesus Oil again, because we point out that Soracom collaborated with Toyota and IoT connected car-approved concept back in this publication of October 23rd, 2024. And it's profound because in the demo configuration, you do see here specifically where it showcases, like it says, a proof of concept for architecture for connected cars to securely connect with their OEM cloud at an all-member meeting hosted by the specific Automotive Edge Computing Consortium. Now, if you look at what Junction is doing with Jasmy as a layer 2 scaling solution of DPIN times AI. All these things really, really add up. There's a press statement that says that this collaboration, at least at the time, represented a major step forward in enabling seamless, secure, and long-lasting connectivity solution for automotive ecosystems. Now, keep in mind the ecosystems. Ecosystems will talk to other ecosystems. Just because you don't see a press release that says specifically, "Oh, Jasmy," again, I'm more impressed with what indirectly isn't involved by simply realizing that they're a big player when it comes to protecting personal data and, again, showcasing their product that will leverage some of these technologies through these ecosystems. Taking more into this, just in case you didn't know it, as an AECC member, Sorcom works alongside mobile network operators. Those are called MNOs, automobile manufacturers, communications, and cloud service providers. If you look at Junction, again, that layer 2 scaling solution for Jasmy, this all matches up. If you don't believe me, research it more for yourself. And look what it also mentions. You have other related technology standards and organizations and technical communities. So this part that mentions other related technical standards, again, think about it. Jasmy, by definition, is part of ISMS. ISMS gave them the granted ISO, I almost said TC307, ISO 27001 standard, and we know that IoT really stands out with that standard. Okay. Also, Tadashi Morita and a few others have their key patents, even Sato-san, right? Taking more into this, here's why this is important to reference these things. Shout out to this guy, Meto Ryuk. There's a reason why Satoshi wanted to be anonymous. Any founder of a project, especially a DEX, who docs themselves are bound to be targeted sooner or later. True. I mean, if you think about it, would we even have what we know and established with some of these things from Bitcoin and so on if he was fully doxed? Now, of course, I don't want to get in the debate about Craig Wright and so on. It is what it is. But they did come from Tornado Cash. Now they came for Uniswap. This is a reason why he prefers Dero as the founders. All right, that's his opinion. Lil Bidman chimes in and said there are also government-approved and compliant blockchain companies, like I just talked about, like Jasmy, that are run by successful tech leaders like Kunitake Ando, former president of Sony. Jasmy has current partnerships with Panasonic, Sony, Toyota, Budget, Apex, and other publicly traded companies. And as we see cited here, literally from Panasonic Japan, the whole thing of connecting the information produced by people and the information produced by things. Started collaboration to create Web3 based platform. Again, citing the big partnership that happened with Panasonic and, of course, Jasmy. Again, toward providing an open platform that connects people and things, IoT. There's more. Jesus Oil, aka Daniel, points this out. I think it's crucial. Great finding once again. In the next 5 years, 75% of cars shipped will do some things. And I'm going to pull up the data again. Excuse me. Hopefully it rewinds. Connected cars can result in 90% less accidents, 60% reduction in emissions, basically 80,000 lives saved. But basically, how will all this be possible? By the industry coming together. I would agree. The coming generation of connected devices. Why not join us? Again, connected devices. What about IoT devices? Automotive edge computing. Think about Jasmy. Think of Junction. Edge computing. Does this not add up? And again, this is from AECC, Automotive Edge Computing Consortium. Again, why even point some of this out? Well, like they point out, big data connected vehicle services present a massive, yes, massive market opportunity. And think about this. Sometimes I may mention things out loud, you miss it. Market opportunity. Where does Jasmy play a key role with that market opportunity? They leapfrog themselves ahead of the pack because there's a lot of ones out there that, you know, let's face it, have opportunities, but they're not tokenized. Again, I think people miss these concepts. Together, we can solve the connected vehicle services data problem. Jasmy will protect that data problem. Are we overthinking it? No, we're not. That's why we're here. According to industry estimates, the mature connected vehicle ecosystem will need to transfer up to 10 billion gigabytes of data to the cloud each month, vastly more than networks can handle today. Did you guys see my deep dive I did not that long ago in regard to the Project Stargate 2025 update? Remember when they talked about, what is it, zettabytes or something like that, which is like trillions of gigabytes? Maybe it might even be higher than that, right? Don't quote me exactly on it. There's a lot of terminology. Solving this problem is why AECC exists. AECC members developing the network architectures and computing infrastructure required to enable big data connected vehicle services on a global scale. But if anything, they're going to recognize what, everybody? The ecosystems. And you better believe Jasmy is part of that ecosystem. Why not say it by name? Those things don't even really matter. It's all about an interconnected world through internet protocols. Think about that in itself. We have gone from the days of of silos and walled gardens and so on. An interconnected, interoperable world. Taking you further into this and why it matters to you so much, AutonomousVehicleInternational.com points out August 8th, 2023, Pony AI and Toyota to establish joint venture to advance L4 AV mass production. Again, why is this crucial? Well, for one, at least at that time, GTMC provided Pony AI with Toyota-branded battery electric vehicles, embedding Toyota's vehicle redundancy systems tailored for L4 autonomous driving development. Well, guess what? We even know with Panasonic, with Tesla, did the same thing for the most part. And you even have collaborations with joint ventures that happened all the way back in 2019 that literally branched off to collaborate with China. That's important. How about this? Pony AI currently operates a fleet of around 200 Toyota and Lexus brand robo-taxis. So again, back to Woven City. How would that play a key role as well? Jumping more into this, shout out to, again, Daniel. Many shout outs, because this whole outline is basically Daniel. Now you guys wonder why I like working with this guy. He points out, at least with the Sorcom info, this is from Sorcom.io on the reference, the most advanced IoT connectivity, platform. Cellular IoT connectivity for any device wherever you need coverage. The world's leading companies put their trust in Sorcom to connect and manage IoT devices and M2M sensors deployed at scale all over the world. And oh, by the way, Tadashi Morita has exclusive patents on what? The CMOS image sensors. We talked about this before. I'll link you guys an end screen card that elaborates more about that. Show you guys the receipts, because there's a whole new wave of people when it comes to this. And we'll come back full circle about Jasmy and the Sorcom connection. Taking you more into this, speaking of Jasmy and the Sorcom connection, NeoX Tricks posted September 22nd, 2023, we are never satisfied. Even more details regarding Aplix and Jasmy. So Soracom, see how we did that, is also there. By reading down on the document, you will find my words regarding smart mobile communication from, of course, his previous posts. As we blow this up, what is he really referring to? Well, Neo points out specifically these key things, and I do think this is crucial. So he points out that the technology business Jasmy handles IoT platform development, smartphone apps, in addition with collaborating with Pro Co. Limited. They handle development such as web service development and blockchain-related solutions. They have also partnered with partner programs provided by who? Well, boil it, mash it, stick it in this stew. Soracom Co. Limited and Atmark Techno Co. Limited. That is profound, right? A little bit more about this, because it gets good. In the solutions business, we mainly use MVNO from our consolidated subsidiary Smart Mobile Communications Co. Limited under the brand Suma Mobile. In addition to actively selling mobile phone devices, SIM cards, and using OEM sales channels, we also launched the Wi-Fi, a mobile Wi-Fi router service using Cloud SIM and the Wi-Fi, an IoT data communication service for corporations. That's big. And they also post the whole thing of what revenue they had and their consolidated sales, at least at the time, which was 76% roughly. Compared to the same period of the previous fiscal year, that was a significant increase from the 58% rate. So, again, what else do we have in regard to this? Well, there's somebody else who kind of chimed in on this, and it is the man, the myth, the legend, Little Bid Man. He says, that's great info, good info. Here's a Soracom customer review. It's kind of like researchers being like, yeah, hold my beer, right? Here's a Soracom customer review, a video by SourceNext about their Pocket Talk product. I'm not going to watch the video, but for those who don't know, Kunitake Ando is also managing director of SourceNext. The rabbit hole is deep, very, very deep. And as you see here, Kunitake Ando, let's face it, former CEO of Sony, obviously part of Jasmy, obviously part of Bajit. That is profound. NeoX Trick says, very deep. I didn't know either, but Kunitake Ando was the chairman of JETA back in 2007. He imagines that he alone must have quite a power of influence until now. And shout out to Metal Logwire. Haven't messaged him in a long time. He says, welcome to the land of never ending. Yes, the never-ending rabbit hole when it comes to Jasmy. All right, what about something a little more recently from Toyota? September 30th, 2025. Toyota established strategic investment subsidiary Toyota Invention Partners Cooperation and Woven Capital Fund 2 to further accelerate mobility transformation. And as you see here, Toyota Invention Partners, they established this strategic investment subsidiary with a strategic investment limit of 100 billion yen. Oh, no big deal, just 100 billion yen. To further promote collaboration between Toyota Group companies, Toyota affiliates, including Woven by Toyota Corporation and external companies, and further accelerates transformation. Highlight is what? External companies. That's big. Toyota's corporate venture capital firm that invests in growth stage startups has established a second fund, at least at that time, Woven Capital Fund 2, the WC2, with a size of $800 million. That's US dollars that you see there, similar to the first fund launched in 2021. Unlike funds with a fixed investment period, TIP, established as a strategic investment subsidiary of Toyota, will in fact invest with a long-term perspective, focusing on business collaboration. Again, collaboration, everybody, with early-stage domestic startups, companies, and inventors with the ambition to invent the next path. What is Jasmy doing currently? They're always on that next path. By continuously creating new value, TIP will contribute to the mass production of happiness. This lines up with what? The Jasmy original white paper, when they talked about specifically the harmonization of data through happiness. Not those exact words, but basically. Furthermore, TIP aims to build long-term collaborative relationships with Toyota, multiplying its assets, allowing investee companies to utilize Toyota's wide range of assets. I mean, come on. This is an ecosystem in itself. It doesn't need to say, oh, Jasmy, okay? That's important. And we also know that Jasmy does, in fact, have a key partnership with a Toyota subsidiary anyway, which we'll get more into here in a bit. Take you further into this, don't forget Toyota Invention Partners. Again, we are a mobility investment by Toyota. And with that also said, together we will break through businesses that can go from 0 to 1. I mean, if you look at Jasmy, I mean, it's way down compared to all-time highs, but that's different because if you think about it, it was the supply that was released at the time, right? So I took advantage of Jasmy when it was at 0027. Did you? Getting more into this, take you over to Lil Bidman. I point this out. We pointed out because back in April 15th, 2024, one of Jasmy's least discussed partners, at least at that time, which is Siemens, was promoting government use cases of IoT blockchain tech. Some of these are geared towards the DoD. Digital traceability, 5 powerful benefits of blockchain technology for the Department of Defense. I remember doing a deep dive on this a long time ago, but whatever the case be, screenshot of some of the companies Jasmy is working with through JNA. Here you will see familiar names like Canon, which is now involved in security and drone cameras, Honda, the company behind Sony's car, which is a Fila, by the way, Panasonic, Toyota, NEC, Apple, Hitachi, and Mitsubishi. Jasmy strengthens the strategic deployment of cooperation and accelerates commercial layout. Jasmy works with JNA to provide embedded device technologies and innovative solutions integrating AI, embedded device development, IoT encryption, and distributed storage technologies to empower and upgrade the Jasmy personal data cabinet. JNA is the top developer of AI technology and embedded device technology in Japan. No, not 10th on the list, the top. JNA is the top developer of it all. Accelerate the realization of a new business model and bring breakthroughs and changes to the entire industry. They cite artificial intelligence. We know where Junction plays a role with that to scale that up. But we also see major customers, JNA, with Apple listed, with Toyota listed, Nissan, Panasonic, who's a direct partner of Jasmy. You see Hitachi, the whole 9 yards, especially even Sony. All right. You may think we're done. We're not. We even see in recent news that Lexus did unveil new IS model at world premiere, the maturation of a compact FR sports sedan that has continued to pursue driving pleasure and sporty design. But bottom line is understanding, like it says, the evolution of Lexus safety system and an updated multimedia system supports safer, more secure driving. Again, even protecting that type of data. All right, what else do we have in regard to it all? Well, taking more into this, beyond zero, from minus to zero, creating new value beyond zero from global.toyota.jp, and to pass on some of these key things about some of it all, whether it's battery technologies, production, hydrogen. I pointed out in another video not that long ago. And again, some of the orchestration of how this all comes together. But more importantly, handling of personal information, even on this website, right? But more importantly, handling personal information, especially when it comes to IoT, Internet of Things. Here's the other one I want to get into. Toyota is promoting full lineup of electrified vehicles. They include HEVs, PHEVs, BEVs, and FCEVs to provide a variety of options to offer sustainable transportation in a practical way. Toyota considers BEVs to be an important option, preparing for a full lineup of products to meet a wide range of customer expectations, and boom, with 2026 as their main target for, of course, next generation. And, of course, the ones that will optimize everything from batteries and platforms, again, platforms, to vehicle manufacturing methods. I'm going to have to fast track through this. I don't want to make this video an hour, but Daniel wanted me to highlight all of the ones on the page. Hopefully he's not referring to 106 search results because that's many pages as you see here, but I will highlight some of the ones he pointed out on this page. On September 18th, there was in fact Research and Development Center where they introduced Toyota's corporate website research and again the creation of what? IoT related things, again, the integration with ecosystem platforms. Jasmy, as we know, is ISO 27001 compliant. We see here compliance with laws and regulations and research activities. They would like to introduce the Toyota Corporate's website compliance with laws and regulations. Again, why point this out, especially when it comes to Jasmy? Because Jasmy was the first to become regulatory compliant in Japan. Hence the term Bitcoin in Japan. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but it's just a terminology. Again, will Jasmy have first mover's advantage when Japan flips their switch and integrates with the rest of the world, especially the United States and so on? This particular one, September 8th, 2025, hydrogen has me feeling refreshed. Toyota Sana. Again, I pointed this out recently in regard to hydrogen. I think another deep dive. Toyota Technical Review. Toyota Mobility. I think this is the main one we should highlight because Mobility Foundation launched idea competition to develop sustainable what? Well, as we blow this up, you will see here in the findings that this was to develop sustainable and equitable mobile solutions to support transportation of vulnerable people in Fortaleza, Brazil. And that's a deep dive in itself. But again, how do some of these innovative technologies work? It's the ecosystems. It's taking technology and collaborating with others, whether it's in other countries, so on and so forth. All right. The other area I want to focus or put some emphasis on just briefly is this press release. This was early January 6, 2025. And again, Toyota Motor Corporation. You will see where this gentleman, who is, I believe, the main bigwig over at Toyota, talks specifically about what they're doing with data. So I'm going to play roughly a couple minutes of this. We'll jump back in just a brief moment. Here we go.
After studying the data that was sent to it, it's learned overnight how to execute a 3-point fault perfectly. This is just one example of the kind of technology we imagine being developed and road tested at Urban City. Autonomous is another, including autonomous logistics and autonomous transportation with our e-pallet. Now, between you and me, as Toyota's master driver, I personally thought autonomous vehicles were a bit, boring until our team showed me these two Toyota race cars that drift autonomously.
I mean, my goodness. I wonder if we know how we live in Tokyo. When you see me drift, you know you'll have to go fast and furious. Drift. All right, that was bad. Getting more into this, let's get into this other area. You see here, Toyota, other Toyota businesses. And like it says here, dating all the way back to 1937. But bottom line is, all of these things, it's not just building cars anymore, everybody. Housing services, financial services, marine services, a whole ecosystem here that people just aren't really aware of, but they need to be. As we fast track it through some of this, 5 Toyota Group companies accelerate AI and software talent development and innovation. I mean, come on. Think about, again, what Jasmy's doing with Junction, that layer 2 scaling solution. You're not going to be able to scale just on regular Ethereum. You have to have at least a layer 2 solution. They have already been there and done that and addressed that. So, for one, why point this out? Well, at the time, it's the whole thing of strengthening development in AI and software talent. Again, Toyota. Connection with this, Toyota has significantly expanded its investment in AI research and development, launching the Global AI Accelerator to accelerate innovation. 5 Toyota Group companies will collaborate to develop AI software talent, and more importantly, human resource development through Toyota Software Academy. And number 2, opportunities for AI and software talent. Again, software, AI and software. So I would encourage people to look more into this because I do feel as though all of these things are definitely worth pointing out. And the other area I want to jump into is actually this, because this might be the main highlight. Yes, it's grok, but it's worth pointing out. It says specifically here, while the press release doesn't explicitly reference Jasmy or blockchain, there is strong thematic and historical synergy that could create overlap. That's the bottom line and why I'm sharing with you guys. Toyota's focus on AI talent, data security, and autonomous connected vehicles intersects directly with Jasmy's strengths in secure IoT data management. Here's the breakdown. Jasmy confirmed collaboration with Toyota via VITS Mobility Service Data Platform. And that was launched back in 2023-2024. This system records tourist data in Hokkaido's autonomous vehicle zone, which is Japan's first commercial AV deployment that uses Jasmy's blockchain for privacy, compliant telemetry, and compliance. Look what it says there. Not saying possibly, it says using. That's huge. And do we meet GDPR standards? Because that in itself is one of the biggest ones, along with MiCA compliance. We do. Ties to the release. Woven by Toyota has an Academy participant, leads Toyota's software mobility innovation, including Woven City, real-world smart city testbed for AVs, and AI. Jasmy's telemetry tech could integrate here for secure vehicle-to-cloud data flows, directly supporting Gaia's AD/ADAS and Mobility 3.0 pillars. And what kind of evidence we have? Multiple sources that include BSC News analysis do highlight this as a flagship with Jasmy automotive use case enabling, quote, secure data sharing for autonomous regions. And I remember this. Hara retweeted this. People don't realize that. That's big. Thematic alignment in data security and AI trading. Data security overlap. The Academy courses explicitly cover data security for AI vehicle applications. Jasmy's personal data locker and blockchain tools provide decentralized user-controlled data lockers ideal for training engineers on privacy in connected cars, preventing data monopolies by IT giants. My goodness. This other one, AI and Internet of Things synergy. Gaia's focus on AI agents, robotics, and manufacturing efficiency could leverage Jasmy's IoT blockchain stack for real-time tamper-proof data. For example, secure sensor feeds and AV testing. Jasmy's partnerships, of course, with Panasonic, IoT/smart homes, and Sony, its founders' roots, amplify this Toyota's ecosystem. Last but not least, talents pipeline potential. The Academy's global expansion plans per Woven's Chief Customer Officer could incorporate Jasmy-led POCs as case studies, training car people on blockchain AI hybrids for secure mobility. And of course, there's an ecosystem fit, so on and so forth. There's a lot to be mentioned here. But again, I like even this part about the autonomous driving because the potential overlap means integration with Jasmy's tech. For example, Woven City testbeds for sovereignty. And again, what relevant capability will we have? It would be VITS platform for secure tourist AV telemetry, and we understand the key connection, of course, to Jasmy. That is big, that is profound. People don't realize it, and basically speaking, that's the bottom line. I want you guys to keep in mind that. I had a lot more other tabs to get into. I may do those on another day. So, hey, do me a solid. If you happen to listen to the entire outline and type in this key word into the comment, actually it's a name, and that is this phrase, not one word, this phrase, Daniel FTW, Daniel for the win, because this gentleman is for the win. He is awesome. I really, really welcome your research, sir. It's been a pleasure working with you. Hopefully you guys appreciate the key research and findings of how we put it all together for you. So saying goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps flood 110%. May the Lord Jesus bless you all. And if anything, I almost forgot, we got to highlight his X page. This is Jesus Oil. This is Daniel. This is him back in the day, back in the 90s, baby. Yes, that's right. Here's his page. Here's old Daniel back in the 90s. And basically speaking, yeah, give him a follow. Like he mentions, financial minister, faith preacher, big up on Jasmy. Some of you guys even recognize a particular lady. Shout out to BB. Okay, I'm not going to mention you by name. I do see that you're following him, so that's cool. Glad to see people in our space, in our community, following Mr. Oil. Okay, so big up to this guy. Look at that. That's a great picture. I used to have a leather jacket like that too back in the day. Yep. All right. All about Avericks back in the day, right? When it was more stylish. All right. Enough about that. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Over and out.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I have many friends that are earning every single day trading futures on BTCC. It's a simple process, and even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you can follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you. And again, I'm not trying to have any of you guys use your hard-earned money to lose anything. You don't know what you're doing? Don't jump into this, but there is money to be made, and don't use your nest egg for leverage trading. Use a separate portfolio. But I suggest learn how to trade. Earn you some extra money on BTCC. It's easy. You don't have to KYC, and you don't have to use a virtual private network VPN. This is a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn that extra money, you can store that on your Decent wallet. The Decent wallet was not affected by the XRPL debacle, where the backdoor of many wallets was open and there was a breach. So Decent wallet was not affected by that. Decent Wallet is as safe as you keep your seed phrase. It's a wonderful product, and you can get the discount by using the link. It's the only way to get the affiliate discount, and that is to use an affiliate link. So that link is popping up on the upper right side of your screen, and it is the one that you will use. You will also get free shipping. Pick you up a Decent Wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet and sitting on an exchange, then you're at risk. So pick you one up today. Thank you.